made good their promise that they would go on that protest. Nothing would deter them, and they did all of that. So this headline here from these days seems to sum up the aftermath or what to expect right now with Tinubu's promise, Port Harcourt Refinery ready by December, Labour suspends protest, extends dialogue. Walk us through this headline.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised by the headline. This Labour seems to be really obsessed with these refineries. It seems to be the core of what it is that they are pushing for, even though they have a list of other demands. So I was kind of surprised to see that it was just the Port Harcourt Refinery alone and a promise of it coming on stream that was enough for them to suspend the strike. I would have thought that their main focus will be minimum wage. Like, if I was in Labour, I will be banging on and banging on and banging on about minimum wage. Minimum wage, it needs to go up. I know they're asking for 200,000 naira minimum wage, which is, I guess maybe is a negotiating tactic where they want to start high and then slowly get their way down to what it is that they want. So we'll see how that goes. But look, the Port Harcourt Refinery, yes, $1.5 billion was allocated to it to rehabilitate it. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, promised this last year, saying that, I think he said by the first quarter of this year, it would come on stream. And we didn't see that. It never happened. He's now, I think he's running for governor of Bayelsa State or something. So, but the thing is, Omas, the Port Harcourt Refinery, I think its output is like 60,000 barrels a day. So I'm not, in the grand scheme of things, even if you had all three refineries operating at full capacity of 445,000 barrels, it still would not make fuel prices go back to subsidy levels. That, even with Dangote Refinery coming on stream, and that's a 650,000 barrel per day refinery, you're still not going back to the subsidy price. So I would think, look, if you get a private sector modular refineries, if you get doing maybe 50,000 barrels a day, just get like 10 of them. That's 500,000 barrels. So 10 private sector modular refineries operating at full capacity, 50,000 barrels each, total of 500. You've eclipsed the 445,000 barrel outputs of your old, decrepit, dead refineries, right? And at the same time, with each new private sector refinery that you're bringing on stream, you are creating jobs. You've deregulated the downstream sector. You've removed subsidies. You're now bringing more people. So supply is assured. You go to America, India, other countries, they have hundreds of refineries there, hundreds. I mean, lots, so there's enough room to cater to the demand for us. So for Labour, I'm really struck that all it took, according to this day headline, all it took was a promise of the. And another thing is, these guys are there. The unions are represented in those refineries where people are working, getting paid, and the output is not there. So it's good to see the strike has been called off, but I think what anyone should be looking at is the issue of minimum wage. The president, in his address earlier this week, said that it was still ongoing. So that's what I thought maybe they had come up with a number, but so here that is the Port Harcourt Refinery. I got to say, I'm pretty surprised.
Well, building on what you just mentioned now, expressing some disappointment with the way all it just took was just to brandish that Port Harcourt Refinery, and that was the magic one that pacified them to go back. But there's a timeline there. They said they're like in a week's time to see. There was a promise somewhere they got that even the Senate has also promised them in a week they would be also stepping in and they would see results.
Yeah, so as far as the refinery is concerned, I think it's December of this year where we're expecting output from there. On the Senate side and further dialogue, I think they've asked for a number of things. They want higher minimum wage. They want the subsidies reversed. They want other items. So I think the dialogue is for them to be able to get those extra items that they want. For the conversation around negotiations of pay will include labor, will include the organized private sector, will include the federal government. So you have these parties that need to come together. I mean, Omas, with this number of people that are stakeholders, are you telling me you can't come up with a number for minimum wage in a day or 2 days max? I mean,
what are we sitting over and over again to go and deliberate about?
What are we? I mean, when people apply for jobs and you do salary negotiation with a potential employer, you fix it. They'll give you an offer, you counter. Both of you go and think about it. Within a day, you've come up with a number. You're done. So what are we still? And that is because I remember when I was comparing fuel prices between Nigeria and our neighbors, Ghana, Ivory Coast, everybody that was, replying me was like, well, what's the minimum wage there? And what's the minimum wage there? And what's the minimum wage there? That is the core of what we're talking about here. Earnings for people, not only minimum wage, but also to target the two items that eat up the most income for Nigerians, transportation and food. So if you target those two, you subsidize them to a point where you bring the cost down. The food one, we'll see how they do that. And then you raise minimum wage. Then you can see people hopefully getting an acceptable form of living.
There is a school of thought in all of these that will tell you that the protest was called just as a face-saving measure because it should have been done before now. So they knew that this was what they were going to, it wasn't going to go beyond just Wednesday.
Indeed. And look, everybody has a constitutional right to protest, right? You can pick up your placard, go out there and speak for your cause. So labor is well within its rights. As you can see,
it's a number. I see that.
Nigeria for you. So labor is well within its rights to negotiate for what it, or rather to protest for what it wants. The key now is, yes, you are very good at protests and you are very good at making your voice heard for matters that concern you. Okay, how do you now negotiate for what it is that you want? That is the main issue now.
Well, let's let you know you can be part of this conversation, as I see you're doing already on our WhatsApp platform. I see Benga Kamu there. I see Yinka Bolu also already on our platform. You can be like them by sending us WhatsApp messages on to 0809 444 0981. 0809-444-0981, WhatsApp messages only, and it's Business Express with Rotus Oddiri. Let's pick up a message here from Yinka Bolu, and he says, okay, let's go to Benga Kamu's message first, and he says, Labour had no choice in the matter of protest. They had lost all credibility, and nobody really thought they will go through with it. Benga Kamu, the main point is, will the price remain the same if refineries work here? You forget there will be a competition among them to get their products to consumers, except we allow them form a cartel. Anything to do with the common good takes eternity to achieve in Nigeria. How long does it take to the Senate to approve benefits for the legislature? Just as, same with the executive. That's Benga Akamu's thought.
All right.
The Yinka Bolu drops in with this message. He says, okay, how these unions don't understand that with all refineries coming on, fuel will not sell at 190 per liter. Did you see them in their numbers waving flags? It shows, apart from the drug issue NDLEA is fighting, we also have an education problem. Rotus, he calls you Rotus. These guys are asking for 200K minimum wage for heaven's sake, and it's never going to happen. Rotus.
Yeah, so you see, Yinka is in, I believe Yinka is in the oil and gas space, so he knows a lot about this stuff. But that 200, when I heard it, my jaw dropped. But again, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they are negotiating. So a negotiating tactic, same thing when you go and negotiate salary, you start very high, and then you now slowly come down to a level where everybody is in agreement. So I'm thinking that they're just aiming very high and they're aiming for the stars so they can fall on the clouds or something.
No, you aim for the moon, and then if you end up with the star, then you are just
Okay,
lucky
sorry.
somehow.
Yes, you're right. Okay, yes. You aim for the moon and then fall on the stars. Okay.
Okay, Rotus. Let's get on to the nairametric story. This one seems also very interesting. So you'd help us break it down because it's indicting somehow. Current exchange rate not backed by fundamentals of the Nigerian economy. So says Wale Edu. Well, either to special advisor on monetary policy to President Bola Tinubu and a ministerial nominee, hopefully some say heading towards the purse of the country. This man will be in charge. Walk us through, Rotus.
Yeah. I'm very excited about Wale Edu. I watched his ministerial screening, tall guy, great suit. I mean, very such a distinguished man. Although, I just wish while he was speaking, he now said that he sees the value of the naira at 700 to the dollar, and I wish he hadn't given a number to it. I really, really wish he had not. I wish he had just left it alone, because speculators will test you, the market will test you, and then they will come back and say, he said it's 700 naira to the dollar, but look where it is, it's 8 something or 9 something. So I wish he hadn't said that. But and also the speculators thing, I don't know. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. I think that there's a lot of demand for dollars for a number of reasons: import demand, medical tourism, school fees, our imports of petroleum, refined petroleum. So I wouldn't attribute this entire thing to speculators, but be that as it may, Wale Edu is a great choice, and we're looking forward to him being confirmed and, helping this country.
He knows his onion, so definitely, but then production too, we must shore up production for us to, get this dollar in check, so that we must be earning dollars also to, make these things work.
That is correct. And so our oil production is an issue. Like, we've fallen to 1.3, 1.4 million barrels a day. Historically, we've done about 2 million or so. So we need to get and that oil theft is another issue. So there's a lot for us to fix. But you've got to reduce imports. You've also got to increase exports. That's how it works.
Okay, Rotus, that's certainly all time would allow us to take this morning. We want to appreciate you once again for your time. But before we go, these guys they just must brace the tape. So just hold on there and see if you can get us through this message. Rotus, this person is for you, but his name is not on the message, but let's see. But he has an addressee. So Rotus, let government sell off the refineries and embrace the modular refineries alongside at least some major element of logistics cost would be yanked off to bring down the cost.
I agree 100%. I agree. These refineries are old. And I have to say, I think it's because Labour, some of their workers are there. That's why they're so obsessed with this thing and they want to keep them alive. So I agree, sell them off. But who will buy them? Omas, will you buy them?
Do I have that? I don't even have partners who would even come to. I have done broadcasting for the larger part since my existence right now. So what else?
Well, same here. Who will buy them? Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Rotus, the question is, Labour should just pick a struggle. Now, after they settle this, by the time they want to sell the refineries, their workers are there already. Their members are there, right? So pick a struggle.
Exactly.
Rotus, let's not take much of your time any longer. It's been a wonderful time with you, Rotus. Have a great day.
Thanks so much. Thanks to everybody that sent messages. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Tech Friday.